Right about now, I want to talk about Kenya's industrialization journey since back then, basically. And I do have the sharpest of minds for this particular conversation. Remember, the Industrialization Expo is coming up about the 21st to the 23rd of September. We'll be getting to know more details on that in a few, but allow me to introduce my guest this particular morning. On my left is Gao Wei. He's the Africa Managing Director of Afripic Expo Kenya Limited. And on my right is Dr. Juliet Kimemia, Investment, Trade and Industry Sector Lead, KNCCI, that is a Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industries. Karibuni sana. From you have to mention Kiambu. I mean, Kiambu is just neighboring right here with us. Yes. And how long have you been in Kenya, by the way?
I came to the country in 2004. It's quite a long time. 2004, 18 years. 18 years, yes.
So your Swahili at this point is?
Still kidogo.
Bado haijakuwa sawa.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this expo. Tell us about this expo and what we really need to even know about it before we start.
Just like you mentioned, now we have just had this press conference. On Monday, we announced this 6th edition of the Kenya International Industrial Expo will be officially open on 21st, and it will last for 3 days, from 21st, 22nd to 23rd in Saris Expo Center. Yeah, so now after the whole year preparation, we believe this year the 6th edition of our Kenya International Industrial Expo become bigger and with more inclusive products and companies.
All right.
Yes.
What's going to be big about this expo? I mean, we've had 5 different ones.
Okay.
Since, was it since 2018?
2018.
2018, yeah. Yes.
Yes.
What's now going to be different about this 6th edition? What have you learned? I mean, when you do things 5 times, you definitely learn, okay, Kenyans maybe perceive this expo in a different way. Maybe they, for the 5 times we've done it, this was the result. So what is going to be different about the 6th edition?
Okay, so why I say bigger, because of the attendance has been really growing. We remember when we started in 2018, and now we only had less than 100 exhibitors. And now we have grown up to this year, we were over 200 exhibitors, mainly from China. But also we have from the local Kenyans to join this exhibition. So now from that side, we see we have been really growing. And secondly, also from attendance, the professionals and the merchants. And now this year we are expecting over 7,000 people to come, because last year the visiting flow is already reached almost 5,000. Yeah, this year we have been continuing remind and invite. So we have a very good hope this one they will come. Yeah, because compared with last year and also even the year before, you see we were affected by this pandemic. So now our exhibition, we call it a hybrid. Why is it hybrid? We joined online and offline. So now we had to make our exhibition to be a physical exhibition in this side, and we had to hire the representatives to represent the company who cannot really send somebody to come. Right. So now we had exhibits, but the representatives from this side. So now also we had this online, Zoom. So now when the client had an interest, they could talk by Zoom meeting with the China side through the link. But now this year totally changed. Now we are open. So now all the exhibitors came. Yeah, so now I think they will have a better communication and interaction between the visitors or potential exhibitors.
And it's going to be a big deal, the fact that it's going to be a physical kind of meeting. There's also a whole rebranding. We'll get to that. But Dr. There's something on Monday, your boss, Dr. Ruto, President of KNCCI, was saying, and he quoted that every 1 container that leaves Kenya, 16 should be leaving China. Take us through, what does that mean? How important should that even be? The fact that, speaking about matters of importation and exportation from Kenya to also China, the fact that one container leaving China, 16 should be leaving China. Yeah.
Is it Kenya or China?
Okay, one container that leaves Kenya, 16 leaves China.
Okay, I think the message here was about the imbalance in terms of trade, the balance between exports and import. And our chamber president, in fact, I should start by congratulating him because I think he's barely 2 months in office. And so is all the other chamber chapters in the whole country.
Right.
So right now, chamber, I can say we are at the getting started and starting strong. And we are very happy that the expo is coming early, quite early in the day. So what as chamber we are doing right now is just organizing ourselves, organizing the branches. Like tomorrow we have the inaugural chairman's breakfast meeting for Kiambu. I represent Kiambu County, and we are looking to really mainstream the activities of our members, because we have members from all the sectors, into the dynamics of the day. The first thing is on the strategies for recovering from COVID, like Chairman here has mentioned. COVID came and totally disrupted. So right now it is assembling, innovation, and mainstreaming technology, and of course now the latest conversation, mainstreaming climate. So we are looking forward to this expo where products and services will be innovated to speak into climate mitigation and adaptation, and also technology, because COVID brought technology that you can even a doctor can operate, you know, using Zoom. You know, a doctor is in India and the patient is in Kenya. We're also looking at really borrowing the model from China of the micro cottage industries. China and India are really leading in terms of rapid industrialization that is micro in nature.
But then, Dr. Before you start borrowing, what is actually in Kenya? When you look at from where you come from in Kiambu, before even this particular expo begins, investors from Kiambu County, for example, will be hoping to go to Sarit Center, where this expo is, meeting a number of Chinese investors, and seeing it, just borrowing a lift. But then, what is happening in Kiambu? Speaking of matters of innovation,
Kiambu is actually leading in terms of innovations. Like, for example, we have the latest Tatu Industrial Park. If you go there, you'll be amazed at the activities that are happening within the industry. I mean, within the industrial park and within the larger confines of the city. Right. If you go to real estate, we have Northlands that is coming, and it's such an amazing thing. So those are the mega spaces where we can see a lot of industrialization happening, a lot of innovations happening. Kiambu is also produces 33% of the coffee in the whole country. It's exactly the leading producer. So we have quite a number of coffee estates coming up and having their own small manufacturing units within. And actually even exporting directly. Right. We have an enabling environment, I can say, from the government, a lot of support from the Ministry of Trade and Industry, the Ministry of Agriculture, a lot of support from the governor. We have a very sober governor for the first time in the history of Kiambu, and I would really wish Governor Matangi well. He's focused, he's smart, although there are people who don't like his focus and his smartness.
I was actually heading, I mean, right now some MCAs will argue differently, but anyway, continue.
Can you imagine? In fact, I want to really call out to those MCAs, and I'm telling them, please, let us not see what we saw in the last 5 years. So I happen to be a minister in the in charge of trade.
In Kiambu County?
Yes, in the last government. And did quite a lot. Did quite a lot in terms of policy direction, supporting our SMEs, supporting our industries in their small way. Like many of our industries have closed in Thika. You remember, I think when you're growing up, when you're young, Thika was really an industrial city. So a lot of bad politics has affected the growth, but we are on a recovery stretch.
And I love the fact that you mentioned about matters policies, because I was heading there. You've been in Kenya a number of years, very many years. So that means you've been in different governments, you know, right here in Kenya. And each government comes with its own policies and reforms. How does that affect you personally even?
I think through all these years, when I stayed in this country, first of all, you know, Kenya is really a good country. It's a God-blessed country, because, you know, we have a very good environment, and also climate is very nice. You see, that is why, you know, we see the Kenya is a hub, for the investment to come to East Africa, even go to the whole part of the continent. So now we really feel the government, they have been continuously try to think to develop this country. From, you know, even if we talk about the previous government, they mentioned and started this industrialization, and now the manufacture sector is a very important key pillar to the industrialization. And now this current government mentioned the bottom up. You see, if you go to the deep and now you think about the bottom up economy system or model, is also talk about this industrialization. Because without industrialization and without the manufacturing sector to do well, we cannot absorb the job. You know, this. So now we believe this is the right track, and really the government is thinking good about the people and for the people. Yes.
Right. And when you came to Kenya, right about that time, we were launching, back in 2008, we were launching the Vision 2030. And I definitely know Dr. remembers that time clearly. I mean, it was a whole big time for Kenya. Taking a look at, you know, Vision 2030, right now in 2023, 7 years to reaching 2030, we had, you know, big dreams. Since that time, since 2008, that project was launched, up to now, as someone who has interacted with Kenyans, as someone who's been in Kenya for a number of years, are we heading in the right direction when it comes to Vision 2030? Because I mean, Vision 2030 really focuses on matters industrialization into it. Good,
a good question. I have to tell you, this one is master control, and we are going to the right direction, and we have a very big hope to make it control. You know why? Because you see, if we talk about industrialization and the manufacturing in this sector, what is the fundamental? Fundamental is the infrastructure. If a country every day talking about industrialization, but without good infrastructure, it cannot hide there. But through the effort of the private government and the previous government, and right now the current government effort, we can see the structure of this country has tremendously changed. It made a very good foundation for growth and investment. You know, for all this investment to come in, first of all, they will see if this country is it a good investment environment for them to produce the products or to. So now we can see right now, from the electric, from the water, from the road system, and even port, all the aspects is really changing. And so I think this one built a very good foundation for the next 7 years to reach that goal.
So do we have a great environment for even someone outside, not only even in China,
Yes.
outside the country to actually come on board?
Yes.
Do we have that kind of environment?
If now we compare with neighboring East African countries, the change is really big. Also, for me as a Chinese, I came to the country, and also sometimes for business travel, I go to neighboring countries. I find in terms of infrastructure, and now all this, the changes in Kenya is much bigger compared with other countries.
Right.
So that one is a good sign to attract investment from outside.
Dr. 7 years to come, so that's actually by 2030 you say now taking stock. Are we there yet?
We are on the right trajectory. I wish we can now talk less. We have seen, like the Ministry of Investment, Trade and Industry, launching the industrial parks, and the spirit is perfect as far as I'm concerned. What is required right now is to really capacity build the SMEs so that they align their activities and their products, their services to the emerging business environment. Number two, we need to really put into practice what mitigation for climate change, because it's a phenomena that may cost the Vision 2030 from being realized if we do not adjust. So we borrow technology from the developed countries, and we are very happy that we can hear a testimony that Kenya, compared to the neighboring countries, is the best destination. So in my view, if we are able to revise and review our policies, for example, the PPP policy and framework has been very problematic.
Right.
Because DOA, that's the name.
Go away.
Gao may come with a fantastic idea.
Okay.
I, as government, really sees this will solve my problem. But when it comes to contracting, if I gave him the contract, then the procurement law arrests me because the idea was supposed to be subjected to either public participation or to be advertised,
right,
for bids to be invited, expression of interest to be invited. So our law has been problematic, because in the process then we have lost very good ideas, because you can't come with an idea that is solving a problem, then other people are invited to come and compete with you on the idea.
But then
that has been the law.
we do have
Today,
even as you continue, we do. I mean, we are loaded to have a very beautiful constitution, even in Africa, that caters for such kind of problems. So where now does the problem really lie?
Like I have said, it is in the legal framework, and that has been addressed. I can confidently say, because I think there has been 2 or 3 readings, and therefore the revision will be there that will allow for direct engagement, especially for county governments. Government is able to go around the procurement law and the public-private partnership through what they call government to government, and then that is not questionable by law.
Right.
So if we are able to refine the private-public partnership law, and we also structure it so that it has the component for mega now partnerships and component for micro, that you have an idea on maybe solid waste management.
All right.
you have a container, you want to put it in the marketplace so that you can you can generate fertilizer or manufacture fertilizer from the food waste from the marketplace, and you enter into an MOU that will give you the piece of land because it's public land, and you will, the government will not interfere with you, and it will be within the confines of the law. So if that law is refined, and I believe that's what our legislators are doing, then we'll be able to attract a lot of private sector investments, and therefore we will realize our industrialization agenda in our Vision 2030.
Right.
Otherwise, looking at the generations of the midterm plans, from the midterm plan 1, MTP 2, we are now on the MTP 3, we are good to go.
Right.
We are good to go.
And
I can promise you that.
And just a reminder even to our viewers to also call in live and actually engage in this particular conversation. The number is on your screens at the moment. I'll be reading it later on. But before I get to you, Gao, Dr. Ray, there's a point he had mentioned about matters industrialization, and and actually now boiling down to infrastructure. The kind of infrastructure that matters roads, schools, matters even knowledge to understand. Fine, you have this industrialization, you have this industry, but how do you even use it? All right, I'm being told that we are due a short break, but when we come back, I'd love to now dig into now matters devolution, the devolved units, the kind of infrastructure that is there to actually help build more industries out here. This conversation definitely goes on after this short break. Remember, you can always be part of it in our social media handles at TV47 News, that is on X, at TV47KE on Facebook. The number to call in live is on your screens at the moment. I'll be reading it after we come back, after credit, to begin to tell us from where you live, how many industries are even there? What do you think about Kenya's industrialization journey so far? Are we really there? It matters Kenya's 2030 and the Vision 2030 plan. Stick around. Right, welcome back, and definitely watching Morning Cafe. The hashtag is Morning Cafe as we discuss matters Kenya's industrialization journey and taking stock of Vision 2030 and specifically in matters industrialization. Remember the whole industrialization, Kenya International Industrialization Expo 2023 is coming up about for the 21st of September this particular year. A few, I think it is next week, but one there. And just taking a look at how this particular expo is really important even for you. Do you even understand matters industrialization in the country? Gaway, the Managing Director, AfriPIC Expo Kenya Limited, on my right, and Dr. Juliet Kimemia, Investment, Trade and Industry Sector Lead at KNCCI, and she insists Kiambu County. Dr. before the break, I told you now to digging into matters devolution, and now as someone who's been in Kiambu, matters infrastructure, you talk about matters roads and schools and other matters infrastructure. Do we really have that yet? How now leading into matters industrialization and industries?
For my county, Kiambu, and like I mentioned, I was in the executive. Mm-hmm. I was the minister in charge of trade mm-hmm. for a season or about a year. Then I was the minister in charge of infrastructure mm-hmm. For about 2 years. Mm-hmm. So I have served in the executive for long enough, and I was in charge when a lot of this infrastructure development happened. So I can say in the last 5 years, we have close to 1,000 kilometers of tarmac in the county, and actually that drove me to design a program of opening up new investments and trading hub. So I was able to sit with the minister in charge of land, and we designed a program. Mm-hmm. We mapped 105 sites and actually gazetted, it was in the newspaper. Right. Sites for new centers of excellence in terms of trade and investments. So I am looking forward to the new government taking up that matter, and of course with capacity, borrowing our capacity from our partners like China. I am foreseeing in the next 4 or 5 years the private sector coming in, joining hands with government to put up investments on public land. So the policy frameworks, I can confirm here are in place in Kiambu County. Right. And what we just need to do is just mobilize private sector investments, mainstream climate. We make sure that the constructions are all green. We just build capacities of our farmers, if it's production of seeds that are drought resilient or resistant. Mm-hmm. So if all counties are thinking like Kiambu County, then we shall surely see a lot of industrialization happening in the devolved units. Right. What I would really beg is interference from the political class. Mm-hmm. Because I think the office of the governor has so much power, and therefore there is a lot of impunity that happens around there. Like you'll find a governor, you have a cabinet member in charge of a particular sector, mm-hmm. but you will not allow a discussion with GAO to have, a mini expo like the one that is at Sarit in Kiambu, or in let me talk generally in all the counties. Okay. The governor wants to be the alpha and omega, mm-hmm. and that has costed our country so much.
As someone who's been Minister for Trade in a county, speak on the independence of the executive and the national government. From where you sit, is the independence as a minister? You can actually do your work, independently. Have someone like Gao coming into Kiambu County or any other county and actually investing there without interference.
On a scale of 1 to 10, I'll give independence 30%.
Across the 47 counties?
Across the 47 counties. First of all, it's a structural problem or a framework problem.
Right.
There is no really a binding framework for national government and county government.
Okay.
So the national government has very serious structures.
Right.
And at the county level, they are headed by the county commissioner. So the county commissioner has his structure that goes all the way to the chiefs. So if there is an agenda, whether it is in health, whether it is in water, whether it's in agriculture,
right,
whatever, it trickles down, information is passed down, national government projects are launched at community level,
okay,
and a lot of the time without the knowledge of the either ward administrator or the member of the county assembly.
Okay.
So there is a structural disconnect. And remember, the national government has the donkey share of budgets for all the sectors. So you'll find the national government implementing or running activities, running programs, and the county government either is not involved at the formulation or is involved when the launch is happening.
Okay.
Just a letter to the CEC.
Right.
And the CEC, because maybe is not even aware or private to the details of the investment or the program, will send a representative. The representative will come and bring a small report and nothing will happen. So the chief continues to work with the community, right, with the DCC and the county commissioner, and okay, there is no synergy. So that requires a policy direction, right, because really we can't blame anybody for it. Then coming now to the county structure, the governor appoints the members of the CCs, executive, the CCs and the chief officers, who okay, are the accounting officers of the department or the ministries. Every governor comes into office with a manifesto. So, and of course, the manifesto probably contradicts the previous governor's manifesto.
Yes, yes.
So you find a lot of very many white elephants, projects that were started and are not finished.
And the stalled projects. Okay.
Stalled projects and just denying some departments budget. So this happens across the counties. And I have seen it in Kiambu County. Okay. The first governor was hands-on and clear and excellent. I didn't work under him, but I wish I worked under him.
Okay.
I worked under the two that got into the office and started fighting.
Right.
So it was extremely, okay, it was extremely damaging.
Okay.
So politics really damage the development agenda.
There's a whole
and personal interest and now fights between the two levels.
Okay.
The executive and the legislative win. The county assembly with the executive.
Right.
The sectoral committees at the county assembly don't speak with the sectors that are in the ministries.
Right.
So I don't know what we can do to remove this personalized politics, because
hopefully have
personally I saw opportunities just come and go because the governor and the deputy governor were fighting. And therefore the executive was okay, disconnected with the assembly and nothing could move.
And actually even speak about matters now, seeking opportunities. Gao, now for this 6th edition, there's going to be a whole rebrand for the Kenyan International Industrialization Expo. So now for the next, will it not be called Kenya International Industrialization Expo?
So now this we have been using this name and represent this industry expo for the last 5 years. From this year, we still continuously use the Kenya International Industrial Expo because the majority of our exhibitors and exhibits is related to the industry. You know, we have the sector from this construction material, machinery, and the machinery also have different, field in this, different agricultural machinery, packaging, all this machinery, and also new energy, products. For all this, we find it relates to the industry, this industrialization and manufacturing. And now we continue to use this. But now this year also we have a better name to use it together, because we want this our platform to also accommodate the Kenya industry and the Kenya export. We really since last year, we already started this Kenya pavilion, and it was a good start because last year through the setup of the Kenya pavilion, we could recruit some very good Kenya companies who has interest to export to China. Now we found this one we should encourage, and this our exhibition has become an international platform with big flow and influence in China. So now we want to also utilize this as a platform to attract the investment and also to help the local industry or agricultural products to export to China. So now this year we will use another name called this Kenya Investment and Trade Fair. This fair. So to go together with this Kenya International Industrial Expo. With this platform, we believe the exhibitors coming to Kenya, and it is good to start with the trade, but finally become the investment. And also we use our platform to utilize our Kenya pavilion to open the market, the China market, to sell the products out. Even this way, we have been working with national chambers, and we give national chambers 12 free stands, and also the other shareholders. So totally we have built 30 the Kenya pavilion. So we want to use this way to try our best, and now to promote the export.
Right.
Yes.
And on Monday, during that particular conversation you're having, the whole preps for the expo, it was announced that the imports from Kenya to China grew by 7% from 2021 to 2022. From where you sit, what do you now really expect now from 2022 to 2023, and even moving forward, 2023 and even other years? Do you expect this, the Kenya-China trade to increase?
Okay, so now we see a very, just like earlier you mentioned the trade balance between the two countries. And now, as a China, you see, these things is not only happening in Kenya, but China as the world manufacturer, the trade balance is applied to all other countries. So now this is a fact, but now we also need to see this. We find a very big leap on the Kenya export, to China. So now before it was coffee, tea, nuts, those traditional products. And later we found the avocado fresh cuts. And since last year, China opened the fresh fruits. The very big numbers of the avocado has been exported to China. Become a very big market.
Since now last year, August, how has that been, by the way?
It was very good. Because the China, avocado in China still are very expensive fruits, because China itself, we don't grow that fruit. We have been import from this Mexican, and now But because of the transportation and also seasons, we need to introduce other countries to supply these fruits. Kenya came in a very correct time, and now right now I think the avocado export to China has play a very important role in to support the export to China.
Right.
Yes.
And even the fact that right now you've been in Kenya for a number of years, enjoying the avocados without the whole expense of it.
Yes. Very nice.
Kiambu is the leading. Yes.
And now that
we are doing several containers per day.
Okay, well, okay. And now that you actually brought that up, now I'm curious because the China Square sits in Kiambu.
Yes.
And it has been a whole topic of conversation, even as this year began, bringing up the conversation of the competition between Kenyan producers and even Chinese producers. From where you sit, is that healthy? Is that healthy having this competition?
We need to really soul search because we cannot match the level of innovations in China, the product variety and skills, knowledge around manufacturing and value addition. So we can only be complemented.
All right.
Until we change the way we do our things. We can't match, but I can say we are on a good trajectory.
Okay.
So if we can harness this energy instead of all the raw materials going to China, then we have the Chinese factories being set up in our country. Like now on electronic waste, it's called waste. We don't have really an infrastructure for collecting the old television set, old computer. Those computers that had a stomach.
And a mgongo.
Yeah. So probably we need to outside this platform sit down with the girls so that instead of just Chinese coming to exhibit and then carry raw materials from here, then we talk about working with government and through the chamber to get land so that whatever is happening in China then can happen here.
It can also be.
We have a lot of land. We have a lot of natural resources, so we can power all these new industries using solar. And since China is way ahead in terms of that technology, we just need to agree that instead of the 16 containers of raw materials going to China, then half remain here, bring your industries here, and we'll learn the ropes, and then we will have no conflict over China Square versus Nyamakema. Because even if China Square is closed, Nyamakema's life will not improve because they all depend on a lot of imports from the same China.
and I'm actually reminded of a data by the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, mentioning that the number of unemployed Kenyans rose to about 2.97 million Kenyans. Now this goes to both of you. On one hand, having industries, but then on the other hand, we're having unemployed Kenyans. What is that?
The issue of unemployment and the youth has been handled with a lot of politics.
So you're going back to the same political interference and
political interference, outbursts, and rhetorics. One big problem we have is our education system that has forever talked about looking for jobs, and I'm happy the thinking is slowly reversing, and I have studied entrepreneurship. I have a doctorate in entrepreneurship, and from JKUAT we became intentional to make entrepreneurship skills a common unit. So whether you're doing engineering, whether you're doing education, whether you're doing whatever course you do, everybody must take a course in entrepreneurship skills, and I've been a lecturer for entrepreneurship skills.
So basically teaching them to be hands-on.
Yes, to be hands-on and getting an entrepreneurial mindset and generating business ideas. And I'm seeing right now there are programs like the QOP program, which is really, really practical. And if we can use that program to build the capacity, to build the skills, then we'll have very many of our young people starting small cottage value addition companies at even at household levels. So we need to change our conversation, and it's changing. We need to borrow a lot of technology, and also we need to just benchmark on what is happening in China and India.
But then, Dr. Terry, even as you say the conversation is changing, we're having a conversation here, Gao, that the government officials, including Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, when he was actually in JKUAT, and even the Prime Cabinet Secretary saying that there are no jobs in Kenya. And this reminds me again of the president saying that, well, we have one of the finest human capital in Kenya. So urging Kenyans to actually seek opportunities abroad. How much of Kenya's human capital is in China so that they can actually borrow, hands-on from what is happening in China, and even other countries, to come and use that here in Kenya?
So what I realized, you see, this in Kenya now we have a good infrastructure, and also the government has a very good idea of to build this industrial park in 47 counties. So now you see, we find currently, yes, you see the industries, they are very gathering in Nairobi, Mombasa, those big cities. So we need to divert to other counties to solve the job problem. Otherwise, the jobless, now it come to the central. They move from other counties, come to Nairobi, and now to make, the development problem in other counties. So now, speaking of which, now first of all, that idea of this 47 industrial park is really working. And now, number two is vocational training. This country, I think, should invest a lot to send people and encourage the colleges, university to collaborate with the international institution for this vocational training. You see the investment coming, and now it must carry a lot of the capital and also this technology. But now the implement and come to operate the machine and all these things, I think need trained people. Right. So now that is why I say this government should move ahead and do more about this training, and then to borrow from other advanced country. And then this one, I think it will really help in the process of industrialization.
Right. And Dr. Terry, from now as KNCCI, we're talking about matters and employment. And even, the young people tell you, well, I have started my business as a small and medium enterprise. But then now one of the major bottlenecks here is matters finance. They tell you they really want to have this big innovation, but they don't really have the money to do this. As KNCCI, from where you sit, did you engage with some of these SMEs and tell them, well, this is what you can do, this is how much probably you can start your business with, we can maybe loan you this money. So how does KNCCI chip in when it comes to SMEs?
The Chamber of Commerce and Industry has a big department that is dedicated to capacity building.
Right.
So it's a space that many people have not engaged with, but highly recommended. So I would like all the young people to just engage with become a member of the chamber, because it's a membership organization.
Oh, okay.
And you know, some of these things can be negotiated. You can become a member by just paying 1,000 shillings or 500 shillings. I can even sponsor them. But right now, the training program is heavy. Of course, aligning to the recommendation for emphasis on skill building, vocational training, like Gao has said. And I'm very happy that there is a lot of capitation that is coming to the polytechnics. So if the CUOP program, which has been tried and tested, supported by World Bank, can be the main curriculum in the polytechnics, then it's compounded with collaboration with the institutions from the developed countries.
Right.
Then we have all the other sectors really build capacity for skills and knowledge. If it's agriculture, if it's solid waste management, if it is manufacturing, you know, even like I saw on YouTube, a small room, or maybe the size of these 2 tables,
okay,
that is producing about 20,000 sanitary towels every hour.
Ah, okay.
The raw material gets in here, the machine comes here, and then there's a machine to pack there, and sanitary towels are on the way to the airport for export to Africa. So if we borrow, you know, small items, small equipment, small processes and small systems, and we house them within our polytechnics and institutions of learning, then we open up to even old people. We don't make it, you know, that you are going to school. Make it a vocation for what it is.
Basically going there to be trained.
And then we have massive sensitization at community level.
Right.
In entrepreneurship, I learned that 90% of the resources are in my hands. So, and that is how I do my capacity building. I tell people, sit down and write 6 business ideas.